Okay, welcome back to my Let's Play of The Outer Worlds on the PC. We're on a planet. I don't know. It's presumably on the fringe of the colonized galaxy. The people here are pretty cut off from any other worlds. We crash landed here, trying to get the ship going so we can get out of here. The ship that we claimed as our own. And we're integrating with the locals a little bit. Now, I did a little bit of stuff on my own. Not much. I didn't really do any questing, I don't think. I did one thing, one side quest thing, but I didn't turn it in yet. I found this light machine gun, 400 DPS. I mean, I upgraded a little bit, and I put in a mod to change the damage type to plasma. So this is a heavy weapon that uses light ammo, which I assume is pretty unusual. But light ammo is really abundant. This thing fucking spits it out. And pretty much melts anything that's close to you. So it's pretty cool. So I took down like a bunch of primals out in the wild, which are no problem, and I found under the spaceport area there was a mega sprat or whatever. It was like a giant version of one of those little lizard things, and literally I time dilated. I was in its face, and I just held down the trigger on this machine gun for like 2 seconds, and it died. So far, nothing's really been much of a challenge, but we'll see. I also have this makeshift low-pressure suit. It's got a little bit upgraded armor. It gives +5 to tech skills, and then I had a mod that gives +5 more to tech skills. And +20 carrying capacity. So that's all pretty good. So the thing that I'm working on right now, what is this one? Okay, we're working on all these. The illustrated manual. So I was poking around town. I didn't talk to the main dude yet, but I found the vicar, who is the vicar of scientism in Edgewater. The religious dude. And he wanted me to find this book, this journal that would apparently be marked as like forbidden material by the religion. It's a banned heretical book, but he wanted me to bring it to him so that he could preserve it or something, because I kind of wish I would have had him explain it as to why he cares about it, but I'm sure he'll say more once we return it to him. So I found it in a cave nearby, surrounded by primals, and that's pretty much it. So let's poke in and talk to Vicar Max.
Any progress on that matter we discussed?
Got your book right here.
Wonderful. This is fantastic. Well worth all the sacrifices Wait. What the fuck is this? Is this French? I can't fucking read French. It's a law-forsaken joke is what it is. French. Ha! I was so high and mighty, preaching to the yokels about following the plan, while fighting it at every turn.
The book seems a bit more important than you let on.
there is little more important than such a precious, rare text. I've spent my life searching for the keys to unlocking the secrets of the universal equation that underlies the plan. I had hoped this book held some of those answers. I became so desperate, I even got myself assigned to this plague-ridden backwater to find the damn thing. All the time and suffering I've spent. Wasted.
Why did you think the book held the secrets you were looking for?
Bakonu, the author, had some interesting theories about man's perception of reality that I thought could be applied to our attempts to decipher the plan. Unfortunately, he was also one of the founders of the Philosophist school of thought, so the book is banned in this colony.
What's a philosophist?
Philosophism's a false religion that stands in contradiction to almost everything we know to be true. They believe all is chaos, in stark contrast to OSI's belief in the plan. But most of the philosophist perversion of Bakonu's thoughts came more than a century after his death.
At least you still have your mission work here to give your life a meaningful purpose.
Please. As if my life should have no greater meaning than proselytizing to a bunch of feeble-minded wretches. Nothing could be more excruciating than discussing the true nature of reality with people who have no interest beyond their next Aetherwave program. But that's neither here nor there. What I need to do now is to find a translator, obviously. But to do that, I'll first need to secure transport. You have a ship. Perhaps I could make myself of use to your crew.
What's in it for me?
Free spiritual counseling, someone to watch your back, not to mention a grown-up in the party. I'm pretty handy with a tossball stick, or any blunt instrument really. I'm also a passable gun hand if it comes to that. I can usually talk my way out of conflict, though. Oh, I'm fairly competent at hacking computers as well.
That all part of your vicar training?
Well, understanding computers is, though I admit I took it further than most. And I was quite the 32nd back during my seminary days. Left many an opponent bleeding on the field.
Are you even a vicar? Because you aren't sounding very vicarly right now.
Of course. I'm a vicar who is dedicated to his calling. More dedicated than any other you'll find in this colony. I joined the OSI to help decipher the grand plan. But instead, I ended up the vicar in a prison due to ignorance and politics. Then I came here. Satisfied?
How'd you get assigned to prison duty?
Most laypeople are not aware of this, but we've not discovered any new insights into the plan for a long, long time. I had an idea that we should welcome the truth, no matter where we found it. I had the worse idea to share my thoughts with a superior. And that's the long and short of it. So, what do you think?
Sounds good. Let's go.
Fantastic. Let me get my things in order and I'll catch up with you. I shall see you on the ship, Captain, whenever you're ready to leave Emerald Vale.
Oh! All right. Good. Now, we could just go heavy on range to get a couple more unlocks, or gotta work on dialogue as well. Shit. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Trying to split my skills across a lot of different things. Okay. Return to Ludwig, collecting fingers, turn in the medicine. Let's do that right now. So you can either hand it to the guy who is apparently potentially a hypochondriac, Or we can give it to her, who will potentially cure plenty of people. I
I've
mean,
got
how do
some
you
time.
know for sure about that medicine you were after?
Thanks. I'll see to it that this medicine gets to the people who need it. Here, something for your trouble. Nothing personal, but I hope we never do business together again. Don't want to make a habit of consorting with smuggler types.
Never? That's harsh. At least leave me something to remember you by.
You do have some cheek on you. Lucky for you, I kept a little contingency fee in case you tried to negotiate with me.
I'm curious, who are you going to give that medicine to?
Somebody deserving. Silas on account of him being out in the cold. Amelia seeing how she's around people all the time. Anybody in the sick room?
Okay, sounds fine. Alright, that works out for me. I don't know what the alternative was, but who cares? Alright, so next we're going to be finally talking to Reed Thompson. Finally continuing the main quest a little bit. With my gun out.
The grease monkey, Argo?
I'm sorry, Mr. Thompson, sir. You asked why it's taking so long to fix. The answer's technical.
Don't apologize. Just try using small words for me.
The can's bust open in the oven because she's set to cook saltuna, which isn't what we've got. Mr. Thompson? I think there's someone here to see you.
Focus, Miss Holcomb. You and I are still talking. Let's start over. Walk me through the process. Show me where it's going awry.
Well, sure. It's, mostly on account of what we're feeding into the mechanism.
It puts food in cans. We have food, we have cans. Why won't it work like we need?
She's expecting saltuna of a certain size. We're filling the cans with, well, not fish.
Okay, I guess that's that. Now he's ready to talk.
Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself.
I'll wait until you're finished.
You were saying, Miss Holcomb.
It's just what Bess needs is a proper refurbish. I can bandage her up and what all, but she's just old. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'll do better.
And I do wish you'd stop referring to our cannery as Bess. Personification of company property is strictly contrary to the Spacer's Choice Code of Conduct. My apologies. I am not in the habit of allowing my guests to witness such a row. Now, what can I do for you?
We can start with introductions. I'm Taco B.
I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I must say, wearing a Marauder's outfit is in very poor taste. I do wish you'd show your uniform a little more respect.
I don't work for Spacer's Choice.
Of course not. I don't have that kind of luck. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
My ship needs repairs. I'm looking for a power regulator.
Only regulator we've got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process.
Let's hear it.
There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way.
When you say mostly abandoned, what do you mean?
I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there.
I don't think these people will take kindly to losing their power.
No, I do not imagine they will be pleased. But like a parent disciplining an unruly child, you will be doing them a kindness. The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home.
Why?
Edgewater is struggling. We haven't hit our production quota in years. If we don't meet our quotas this year, the company might shut us down for good. I need those workers back at their stations.
Well, I don't know if there's any point antagonizing him. He's going to be set in his ways. How can I help?
My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town.
How will I recognize Adelaide?
Adelaide's older than the other deserters. She's dignified, kindly. From what I understand, her camp looks to her for leadership.
You're asking me to cut off power to an entire community.
I am asking you to help us survive. Edgewater needs more workers or we will collapse. We belong to one community, the Spacer's Choice family. If we dissolve into factions, then we will all perish separately. Adelaide will understand that.
All right, Reed, I'll see what I can do to help you.
My dad told me all about the plant. Taught me all he knew. I could come in useful. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented and may prove useful to you. You will need an administrative passcode in order to enter the plant. I am trusting you with mine, and trusting Miss Holcomb to guide you if you'd like.
Sure, I could use a company.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
Now, you've gained a companion. They are characters that join you in your adventures and help in a variety of ways. Companions provide combat support. Their skills enhance your skills. They increase your carrying capacity. You can unlock special companion combat abilities with the inspiration skill. Wow, that's some cool shit. Companion perk. Parvati. Change out their gear. What are they good at? Threat. You can generate more threat. Or you can generate less threat. Increase your engineering skill by 10 when she's in the party. That sounds more useful than anything else. L's to the yeah. And you can change the distance. Weapon. Aggressive. Guess so. I don't know if I care too much. Only thing is I can't. Okay, so she has one ability and it's related to having a hammer. So we're gonna keep her with a hammer. As for a gun, I don't know if I really. Does she have to worry about ammo? If she doesn't, I'm just gonna give her this. Okay. Now. We the Spacer's Choice family is not good. I mean, they're pretty fucked up.
Hey, ma'am, can we talk? Sorry. Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me. It's just, Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale.
Figures. Reed didn't exactly strike me as the most honest soul.
Oh, he ain't a liar. He believes every word he says. It's just, he doesn't always get where other folk are talking from. To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before they left.
You can't blame anybody for wanting to leave. This town's got issues.
Life's hard here. Especially for them that don't fit in so well. We're one big Spacer's Choice family, but every family's got the one the rest whisper about. Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders, or worse. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is.
What do you need to talk to the vicar about? Flipping a switch in your power mill?
About if what Mr. Thompson proposes to do is upright. Leaving Miss McDevitt's folk to their fate. Their neighbors. Kin. And maybe he can think of something else to try. Something we ain't. He used to go walking outside town. Maybe he found something that'll help. It's just an idea. That's all.
Suppose it couldn't hurt. We'll stop by.
Thanks, ma'am. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right and wrong of it. That's what my dad used to say anyways.
Well, I certainly was thinking about that. You know, obviously, Spacer's Choice, no good. But, you know, if I, like, fuck over this town somehow, there's a lot of innocent people getting screwed over along with it.
I'll meet you on the ship when you're ready to depart from Emerald Vale. Captain.
Parvati wanted to talk to you about what Reed asked us to do.
What? I thought you would talk to him.
You wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor, answer in single words, and slink away. I can't imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Thompson asked you to do?
Cut off the power to Adelaide's deserters.
Depriving them of safety from the marauders and wildlife. I can see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the talk.
What do you think of Adelaide's group, Vicar?
They rejected the order of society and live beyond the walls so thoughtfully provided by our Spacer's Choice patrons. Does that strike you as a responsible life choice?
Depends on how well the leader can provide beyond your walls.
Astute. But I am here, not in the deserter camp. So that's not a variable I can account for.
So what do you advise?
Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold.
Is that even possible?
Not if things are left to stand as they are.
Well, shit, man. That was useless. I think it's probably for the best, though. It doesn't involve anyone dying. But it sort of perpetuates a shitty life, which I don't know if that's good either. But in lieu of, like, taking down Spacer's Choice, I don't know if there's much I can do.
When I was little, we'd get freighters in every...
Okay, okay.
Bring us honor, soldier.
Found the package you mentioned.
Feast your eyes, soldier. This here is a genuine Spacer's Choice injury customizing unit, designed to deliver a lethal blast of electrical discharge. I call it the Hand of the Law. You ever want to see a mechanical flailing around like a grounded fish? You stick a couple thousand volts in its guts. With compliments from old Ludwig.
How do I use this injury customizing unit exactly?
There's a workbench right through this door. Attach that unit to your favorite weapon and go forth into glorious battle. Time's come for you to journey down into the black heart of the enemy's camp. I'm talking about the old geothermal plant. Unfortunately, the old plant lies outside my board-given jurisdiction. You'll need to get a passcode from the boss, Reed Thompson.
Don't worry about that. I've already got a passcode from Reed.
I've been after a passcode for years. Boss said no on account of my gross incompetence with all matters related to security. I need you to get us the brain of a mechanical. Well, not exactly a brain. Anatomically speaking, what we're looking for is a logic module.
How am I supposed to get one of these logic modules?
There's the rub. If a mechanical breaks down, the logic module fries. So you can't rip one out of its corpse. You're gonna have to find an intact model somehow.
Parvati, is a logic module something you could help with?
I don't reckon so. I work with gears and pistons and such. Stuff you can put hands to. Computers and mechanical brains are outside my ken.
You know, she names the mechanicals she fixes. Calls them Bess and Clancy and so on. You keep a careful eye on her. Could be a sympathizer.
Seems simple enough.
If you die horribly, I will pour out a can of 0G to your memory.
Fantastic. All right. Fine. We'll be getting to that. First, let's do these fingers. Feel those are going to be decently easy. I mean, I came across a few Marauder little packs on my own. And just with that hunting rifle, it's so easy to pick them off because they don't instantly latch on to where you fired from. If you shoot from a distance, they're just like, oh, whoa, what's happening? And especially with time dilation,
Rocks in the river to Constable
it's just
Reyes
a
ticketed
joke.
me for unlicensed terraforming. I think she was jealous. She don't know how to skip rocks her own self.
okay, we got one there. See anyone else?
Not a peep from me.
Oh, right on the chair. Very nice. Is this that first Marauder camp I took out? I think so. So he just sort of spawned when that quest popped up. There you go. Now, wasn't there a locked thing here that I didn't open before? Could have sworn. Oh, yeah.
Wow, you got that?
No problem. All right. One down, two to go.
You can handle this. Down they go. Look at us.
What is this symbol that popped up? Okay. I mean, it's getting lower, but I don't know if it's worth having a notification. Getting that perk for sprint speed would be kind of nice. dock at? In the cave. Is there a cave? There is a cave. Let's just wait. We can get a little closer. We can scope it out.
Don't mess with us.
Simple as that. Hunting rifles, pretty fucking good, man. I recommend looking into it. Blood on stick. Alright, whatever that means. Limbs all over the place. Oh, shit. Alrighty. 2 down, 1 to go. Ow. I think I've been here. Pretty sure. Looks like there's gonna be some. Oh, a primal nest. That looks fun. Oh, what the hell? You only live once, right? Dirty play. Hey, we could sleep here. Nice. Come on, fucking set up camp in the middle of a primal nest. Oh my god. Oh god. I think Parvati is dead. See, I don't know what that stuff is that's happening to me. Is this explained? Maybe in the codex? Combat? N-ray damage? I think maybe that's what it is, but... Yeah, that was pretty sweet. And it's like, yeah, I used up a bunch of light ammo, but I still have a fuck ton. And we leveled up. Let's do that. So now, all weapons do plus 50% crit damage. Oh, man. The headshot weak spot damage plus 20%. That'll be great. Point there. Couple points there. Couple points there. My engineering is up to 65. Damn. Alright, and as for perks, I think we'll go with gosh. Having more time dilation would be great. Sprint speed's also good. Let's go with time dilation because I love it. I love it and live for it. Oh, reliable. What is this? It's just a better version of what I have. Yes, it is. Okay, doesn't do plasma damage, but we can always tack that on with a mod. This is our reward for clearing that out. Ooh. Very cool. Hey, what's up? Oh, I missed. Hate it when I miss. Happening over here. Who is that? Ooh. Ooh. That's pretty sweet. Where it's like -5 to stealth skills, that includes like hacking. So. Oh, hello.
Wow, you crossed them all off, like some sort of heroic accountant running down a list. Teach me your ways.
Not for free.
Oh, well that's a shame. I mean, I could pay you in Adrena time, but I've already bartered most of my stash over to these poor saps. You, on the other hand, you were a sight to behold. If I had half your skills, I'd be the greatest outlaw the coast has ever seen.
Need you to clarify something for me.
I'm great at clarifying.
You're a prisoner here?
No. I insinuated myself into their company, see? And they didn't seem to mind one whit.
How'd you pull it off?
I may have bartered them a few boxes of Adrena time, but I'm sure that's got nothing to do with it.
How are you even alive?
I don't know. The vital processes that constitute the miracle of life are mysterious and unknowable. Oh, you mean around these guys? The Marauders wouldn't hurt me. They love me. I'm practically their queen. Yeah, must be my natural charisma.
Are you from Edgewater?
I got kicked out of Edgewater on account of falling sick with plague and stealing some medicine to treat myself. I'd heard some outlaws set up camp in the botanical labs. I decided to throw in with them, seeing as I always wanted to be an outlaw myself. Instead, what do I find but a bunch of former workers camped out around a greenhouse? I couldn't just go back to the cannery, so I was stuck with them. I've got all the time.
Okay. Okay, okay. Hello. Joint actuator. Nice. Always wanted one.
Clever.
Running around and looting stuff. That's what life's all about. No logic modules, though. Ooh, we can open this. Okay. I mean, we got what we came here for, so don't need to do a whole lot else.
Great work.
It's free XP, baby. Picking up everything in sight, because we can. Picking up everything in sight, because we can. No! I don't know if there's anything else up there. Fuck! Yeah, how does it feel? Over encumbered. Which isn't that big of a deal because you can just break stuff down. Okay. So we can head back to town to turn that in, but we're gonna move on to this quest. We're gonna break down some stuff. Get us below where we need to be. Picked up some heavy shit. Wait. Assault rifles are heavy. Break this down. Fair enough. Okay, where are we heading? Up here. Look at those rings, baby.
Got it. Heads down.
Okay. I want to snipe this dude.
Here we go. We're pretty good at this.
We? Me. Best at what I do. What I do isn't very nice. Yep, that's gonna over encumber us. I don't know if there's much I can do. We're not going back to town yet. I mean, I could just keep breaking down more stuff. It's not like that's a bad practice. But money is good too. They're both good. Oh, so good. Alright, that's really slow. Any other shit that's really heavy, or you can only break down weapon and armor, so it doesn't. Okay. Good, good.
Move along, stranger. We don't want any trouble. I don't know you.
No, you don't.
Whatever you're looking for, it ain't here. Move along.
I'm looking for Adelaide. I need some answers.
Answers, huh? You must be one of those philosophicals. Already got ourselves one of those.
Reed said something about former workers living out in the wilderness.
Yeah, that's us. And you can tell Thompson we're doing just fine by ourselves. If you're gonna start wandering around my camp, know that I got my sights on you.
Where can I find Adelaide?
Over in the hothouse, tending crop. Enough with the questions. No offense, but I've got a lot on my mind.
Trouble with marauders?
You don't know what enough with the questions means? No, I'm sorry. That was unworthy of me. Lady named Zoe went missing some nights ago. Just up and vanished without a trace. Now I'm pacing around wondering if marauders got to her.
Upbeat, a little strange, love Rizos. Yeah, I met Zoe. She was in a marauder camp.
Thank the Eternal. Wait, marauder camp? Is she alright?
She's fine. They were getting along.
Getting along? What? Sitting around a campfire telling stories? If you could bring her home, I'd be obliged. And if you could cross off some marauders on the way, I'd be much obliged.
Leave you be. Okay, well, we can stop by there again.
Oh gosh, it's so pretty.
It actually is pretty.
If you're hungry, there's meat turning on the spit outside. If you're bearing illness, find a place to lay your head down and I'll fetch you a poultice. Whatever your troubles with Edgewater, leave them at the gates and be welcomed here. Any questions, dear?
You must be Adelaide.
I have been called that, among other things. Green Thumb, grandmother, the strange old lady who keeps flowers. But yes, Adelaide will do just fine.
Excuse me, Miss McDevitt? Sorry, it's just... You got such pretty trees in here.
Why, thank you. You're Robert's girl, aren't you? I remember when you were but a sprout. Thomas speaks of you often. Are you staying long? You should try some of my tobaccorn tea. I brew it in an old spittoon, but it's been cleaned.
Backhorn. That's like Tamaco or whatever from The Simpsons. Reed sent me to make peace with you.
Reed Thompson? You here on behalf of that cold-eyed reptile? Let's hear it. What's Reed's idea of peace, then?
He's willing to make amends. He's not willing to make amends, though. He's trying to force him. You're living off power that belongs to the town. Come back to the cannery. That's about it.
A Like everything else that comes out of Edgewater, that peace offering is canned. I and my own are living just fine out here by ourselves.
Reed asked me to divert your power over to him. He's mentioned a geothermal plant.
He would do such a thing. The question is, why would you agree to his plans?
Your camp has a power regulator. I need it to repair my ship.
Cannery's got a regulator. You want ship parts, you ought to rip them out of the cannery's guts and leave us be. If you're going down to the plant, you should divert power away from Edgewater and toward our end of the grid. Think about it. You'd be liberating an entire town from a lifetime of service to that odious cannery. Seems the sort of thing a hero would do.
A hero to you, maybe.
A hero to the people who matter. To us. To the ones who come around. To the ones you save. Reed will never understand. He has been too long inebriated on the wine of corporate culture. All he sees is productivity, output, profits.
Let's say I help you. What happens to Edgewater?
Life in Edgewater grinds to a halt. The cannery shuts down, workers desert in droves, and our own little camp grows and thrives.
You think Reed's just trying to spite you?
You bring power to Reed's town and you'll be killing us. Reed knows it. He's counting on it.
What have you got against the town? I already know the answer to that. I'll consider it.
I trust you will listen to your conscience.
If she truly believes and is prepared to handle all the people of Edgewater in her little community, then it sounds good to me. Because nothing that I saw of Spacer's Choice was good. And it's like, yeah, they have walls, they have stability, but these people are doing all right out here, even with a few as number of them as they have. Ack. Alright, let's listen to Adelaide's files here. May the Eternal bless my first endeavor. It's been 2 days since I walked away from life at the Edgewater Cannery. Fortuitously, the old botanical labs are still operational. Mostly. The soil's sour. I'll do what I can, but I'm going to need some powerful fertilizer. Tired of having the taste of Saltuna lingering on my tongue day in, day out. I want something fresh. Something that grows out the earth. We found another worker from Edgewater. Ex-worker now. Desertion rates must be climbing. I'm not terribly surprised. Reed's style of management has always been tyrannical. I imagine an exodus is brewing. At any rate, the worker was in a sorry state. Fever, shallow breathing, delirious. Must have been plagued. I set him right with a diet of greens. He was all better in a couple weeks. Physically, spiritually. He's one of our flock now. Cure the plague that easily, huh? Experimental notes. I am hereby repurposing this botanical lab from its original conception as a gear and the soulless automaton of the corporate machine. This greenhouse may look impressive, but like all Spacer's Choice products, it is cheap and unreliable. I shall have to make some repairs with my own two hands. This place shall become a nursery. Before it was abandoned, I understood the horticulturists failed to produce a single viable crop. Something about the soil being too poor. I am determined to find a way. May the Eternal smile upon my endeavors. Flora are living things, as sensitive to their environment as any breathing, thinking body. I contend that the crops in this region fail because the corporate scientists tending to them are cold, heartless, inhumane people acting on behalf of a sterile and inhumane power. One cannot expect your crops to flush with green and reach for the sky under these conditions. The soil is sour, it's true. I don't know quite how to explain that. I'm sure the scienticians will say something about biology or the carbon cycle. But I can conclude, after months of my own experimentation, that the secret to a rich and wholesome garden is love, attention, compassion, and a natural fertilizer bursting with organic materials. just as nature intended. Okay, well, she just doesn't have any skeletons in her attic, I guess. That's good. Alright, I guess I'm all on board with
Okay, keep him quiet.
the whole, taking down the town. As I rob this place blind. So that's it then. No more Edgewater for me. No more cannery. No more jumpsuits and gloves. Yes, ma'ams. And would you like another's? I don't know why I'm writing this down for posterity's sake, because I've always hated the cannery, and I don't think I'll ever have to look back to this journal many years hence and tell myself, oh wow, I did hate the veil once, didn't I? Just because I got sick. Everybody gets sick. Well, okay, I got sick and I grabbed a little too much Adrena time. Is that really a crime? I gotta treat myself when I'm sick, don't I? Whatever happened to personal responsibility and surviving by one's own bootstraps? Oh, but you misappropriate one box of Adrena time and suddenly you're committing larceny. Yes, that's the definition. Good news, I'm alive. Starting to feel a little better, too. There's a group of deserters living out in the old botanical labs. They found a way to grow some food, or something that passes for food anyway. Adelaide boiled a pot of something green and leafy and told me to drink it twice a day for my symptoms, I suppose. Tastes atrocious, but I've been feeling better. It's nice to be away from the cannery. The labs have just enough power to run an ether wave, so I've been catching up on my serial dramas. Masked marketer. Masked marketeer. What would I do without you? Go crazy, most likely. Crack up, murder all my neighbors, and run screaming into the hills like some wild marauder. I don't know, that doesn't sound too bad. I could see myself leading a cadre of marauders. A band of bandits. Wait, that doesn't sound right. Band of bandits. What would we call ourselves? The Formidable 14. The 100 Hooligans, featuring Zoe, Bandit Queen. I think she's pretty fucking enamored with that concept, but we'll see if we can convince her. Bandit Queen Zoe's origin story has just begun. I'm gonna have a whole gang of marauders at my beck and call. Maybe I can even score some Rizzos. Alright, we're gonna leave it off here. Next time we will be primarily we're gonna be going into the geothermal plant, which will probably be our first real dungeon, I guess. I don't know if it's just a building or if it's an underground. It must be underground some way. It's geothermal. So that should be interesting. So far, combat's been pretty easy. We got a shit-ass ton of ammunition and some powerful guns. I'm sure we'll be fine. My name is Mangg. Gaming watching has been The Outer Worlds. I'll see you fine folks in the next part.